the mythical Fortnite Goldfish, and more coming up on today's episode of the latest in tech news. Hey Gadgeteer, you're just in time for the latest episode of the world's only 3-in-1 show on tech, gadgets, and gaming news. That's right, this is the latest in tech news. My name is Taylor Merrick, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on the latest. And if you've been a long time listener of the show, feel free to share this episode with a friend so that they get the same amount of information out of it that you do, and stay up to date, because there's a lot that happens in the tech, gadget, gaming news realms. So we try to stay on top of everything. And speaking of which, our feature story we'll be looking at today is a mythic goldfish in Fortnite that apparently deals massive damage, and we do have video reportedly of it damaging players in game. We'll also be taking a look at Facebook begins testing dark mode and a Twitter-like interface for desktop. I'll give you a hint, I'm not a fan of it, but I'll hold off any further comments until we actually get to that segment. And finally, we'll be taking a look at an Apple device like nothing we've ever seen before is launching next year. Now, before we get into the show, there's something on my mind I wanted to let you guys in on. I feel like I'm partially getting, I don't know, stretched thin. I don't want to say burned out, but with the amount of stuff that I have going on any given day, I don't want the quality of this show to suffer. And even though I do it on a daily basis, there is a time requirement that I have to put into it, and not only researching and putting together all the information for the show, then there's actually the recording of the show, which you're seeing right now and hearing right now, and then there's the post-production side of the show. And all in all, it does take some time to do, and if I do it on a daily basis, it gets a little bit tiring after a while, and then I feel stretched thin because then I'm not able to spend time at, everything else that I'm supposed to be doing. And there's things going on offline or in other areas that my time needs to be spent in currently. So all that to say, I want your feedback on something kind of important to me right now. I know that I haven't been able to deliver on a full 5-episode week, show every single day, Monday to Friday, for a while. For some reason or another, it's kind of frustrating to be able to try and do all 5 of them. I have projects going on in other areas that need my time and attention. I feel like a one-man show, and I kind of am to some extent, but wouldn't be here without you listeners, so I appreciate every single one of you. You are what help shape this show, so I'm definitely thankful for you listening. I'm actually wondering, though, would you prefer a slightly longer weekly episode just for the time being? I'm not gonna give any time commitment in terms of how long it's going to be for, but for the foreseeable future is about the best estimate that I can give you, whether that'll be a month or 2 or 3 or possibly even 6. I hope not, but for the foreseeable future, would you be interested in a slightly longer show, but a weekly show that would kind of encompass more articles that went on during the week as opposed to the 3 that we're recapping right now? That way I can make sure that I'm delivering on a quality, you guys are getting what you want out of the show, and it's a little bit longer, and then maybe I can actually give you a certain day to expect the show on, a certain time if I'm going to be recording it live again, possibly. I don't know. I'm not even sure. Maybe just a set time of when the show will be released on a set day, for those of you interested. Now, I'd love to hear your feedback. If you're watching via YouTube, let me know down in the comment section. If you have stopped by TechNewsGadget and you're listening, this is episode 201. If you could leave a comment on the show notes page, you can do that as well. We are also on Twitter at TechNewsGadget. We are on Facebook, TechNewsGadget. So feel free to stop by. Let me know your thoughts. I'll probably be sharing a tweet for or a Facebook post, probably both. Just getting some feedback and some votes. I don't know. I don't want the quality of the show to suffer, but I want to make sure that I'm delivering what you guys came to tune in for. So if you think maybe a weekly show for the time being will be able to suffice to give you all the information packed into one episode for the entire week, let me know. If you just want to keep it daily as is, let me know as well. I'm interested in your feedback. So with that out of the way, let's head on over to Today in Tech History. Alright, today is October 21st, 2019. On this day in history in 1991, Apple introduces the PowerBook. At the Comdex Computer Expo in Las Vegas, Apple introduces the first line of PowerBook notebook computers, the PowerBook 100, 140, and 170. The first truly portable Macintosh, the PowerBook line redefined portable computing and set the bar for future laptop designs. For example, the PowerBooks were the first laptop to have a trackball positioned in front of the keyboard. Most existing PC laptops of that time ran DOS and were therefore keyboard-oriented, requiring the use of external mice, not mic. Why would you use a mic to... anyways, also on this day in history in 1879, Thomas Edison perfects the first commercially practical incandescent light bulb. Using a filament of carbonized cotton thread, his first attempt at this design results in a bulb that lasts about 13.5 hours before burning out. He later extends the life of the bulb to 40 hours. Edison's successful design came only after he had tested over... And this is where everybody goes, oh, you really tested it? Over 6,000 different vegetable fibers during a span of over 18 months, running 1,200 experiments and spending $40,000. So in case you are wondering the day that Thomas Edison came up with the incandescent light bulb, today is that day. So finally on this day in 1949, An Wang called his patent a pulse transfer controlling devices. He filed a patent for a magnetic ferrite core memory. See, at this time, at least in 1949, computer designers had been looking for a way to record and read magnetically stored information without mechanical motion, and Wang's concept of the magnetic core memory was central to later computer development. Just in case you're wondering, 2 years later, he founded Wang Laboratories and kind of was important in terms of magnetic core memory and retrieval and storage of all that kind of information, kind of leading to more important things with computing down the road. So with that out of the way, let's head on over to today's feature story. Feature story. Oh my goodness. Oh, it finally loaded. If you're interested in the articles mentioned today, head on over to TechNewsGadget.net. But man, apparently Fortnite. I know you're like, why do we always have to have Fortnite news? I don't know. I kind of like Fortnite. Playing it's fun. It's kind of top of everybody's mind right now, so I'm gonna cover it between that and League of Legends. So deal with it. If there's something that you want me to mention on the show, let me know with a comment or a tweet. We are at TechNewsGadget. But Fortnite players discover a fish that deals massive damage. Introducing the Mythic Goldfish. And apparently Fortnite Chapter 2 is all about aquatics. The map has a number of new waterways. If you've been living under a rock and you actually haven't jumped into the game, players can swim, and there are boats as well. And like all great video games, you can also fish. But most of the time, casting a rod merely produces a healing item, a rusted can, maybe a fish or two, maybe weapons, stuff for farming. But there's apparently an extremely small chance that fishing will hook you an overpowered item. Since the start of the season, we've known about something called the Mythic Goldfish, thanks to data miners poking around Fortnite files, but nobody has actually found this item until today. It's apparently reported to deal a massive amount of damage. Here's an icon of it. It's called Mythic Goldfish, found from fishing. The item context says, throw Mythic Goldfish at enemies to deal massive amounts of damage. We're actually looking at this on screen right now. So if you want to tune into the video portion of it, you should probably know where to go for that. But in the last 24 hours, however, players have started sharing footage of what the mythic goldfish looks like in-game. The first person to have encountered it seems to be a Redditor, but now that people are knowing for sure this is probably a real thing, they're hopping into games with the explicit purpose of finding items, so there are a number of clips floating around and a lot more people fishing. Here's a fish. We're actually looking at video right now if I can get it loaded up. He's actually holding the fish in his hand right now, and he just threw it. It looks like you can pick it back up, and what is he doing? Quality is definitely grainy here, but he definitely has this mythic goldfish thing. World. So now, for those of you wondering, the fish is actually a trophy that can be thrown at enemies, and when it lands, it makes a clanking sound. It's unclear how much damage this weapon does. Some people claim it can one-shot enemies, but some clips showcase it hitting islanders without instantly killing them. Whatever the case, Fortnite players are fascinated by the inclusion and want to find it for themselves, which makes it very likely that you are going to be finding more fishermen in future games. So, reports suggest that you can spend ages fishing and not find a trophy, so don't be surprised if your attempts don't produce the desired results. Apparently, patience here is key, but if you manage to be killed by one, don't be sad, you'll get an achievement for your troubles. Now, the big question here is, have you found a mythic goldfish yet? Let us know down in the comments on YouTube, on Twitter, at TechNewsGadget. I haven't found it. I didn't even know it existed, but apparently data miners beat us all to it. And the Redditor, like you've seen right here, found it as well. So it's got to be out there somewhere. I mean, they have... I'm looking at it right on the screen. Mythic goldfish. No one will believe you caught this. I guarantee you it's an achievement. I guarantee you it's rare. Very slim chance. But yeah, if you do find it, we'd be happy to celebrate with you. And you know what? Keep in mind, you might actually get bragging rights, because very few people have found it, and if you find it, people will be like, oh, it's awesome, dude, it's awesome, it's great. So yeah, if you find it, great. If you don't, keep on fishing, I guess, is the recommendation here. All right, moving on to the next article. By the way, I was talking about video on the last story, and if you guys were interested, did you know this show has video? Indeed it does. Head on over to youtube.com/TechNewsGadget. You can watch this show in video format if you would like. Otherwise, if you're on the go, I understand most people listen to this show via the podcast, so be sure to tune into latest in technews.com to subscribe in whatever app you desire. But Facebook begins testing dark mode and a Twitter-like interface for desktop. And I gotta say right now, I'm looking at it. Barf. I don't like it at all. No, please don't. Dark mode looks cool, but I don't... Okay, but this isn't anything new. In May, Facebook said it was going to be redesigning the website and bring dark mode to its website and mobile apps. It began testing dark mode for its Android app in August, and now has started rolling out a beta version of its website with that option to some users as well. Multiple people are being invited to test the new interface. The screenshots shared by testers are akin to Facebook showing off the design at its developer conference F8 in May. The new version of the website kind of looks like Twitter, and I gotta say, I don't like it. People are saying it's awesome. Why would this be awesome? Here's what I don't get. Here, we'll try to get a bigger screen. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It like whatever. But Facebook, not Twitter. Facebook will do whatever it wants. Now, just keep in mind, this is just a test version, so the final release of dark mode and a new interface might not look the same, but dark mode's actually looking pretty good. Thankfully, if you don't like the new look, there's a handy toggle that lets you switch to the good old classic version of the website. So, updates coming soon as a new interface and dark mode is available for a wider audience, but that's all we know at this point. Do you like it? Let me know. you've heard my thoughts. I don't like it. I'd rather prefer they just keep it as is. There are some things they can tweak, yes. Dark mode looks fine for the most part, but no, I don't like it. That's all I'm gonna say. And finally, well, you got an article here, and it says an Apple device like nothing we've ever seen before is launching next year. And I know what you're saying. You're like, Taylor, I'm looking at it right now. It's a phone. No. Where is it? Let's read the article to find out. Good way. You don't figure out what's going on in the world just by reading the headline and not reading the article. That's a very lazy way of reading the news. You actually have to dig into the article, and that's what we're going to do right now. Now, the iPhone changed the smartphone industry forever, effectively killing every company that couldn't pivot. The world's biggest brands of phones at the time, like Nokia, Palm, Microsoft, and BlackBerry, all had to throw in the towel. You barely hear about them much. Only Google was quick enough to adapt Android from a BlackBerry alternative to an iPhone rival, and some of the smartphone vendors who went for it thrived, and they're smart too. Samsung and Huawei are both Android success stories, as is OnePlus, but none of them, least of all Google, could come up with a real iPhone killer, a device that would revolutionize the mobile industry again. It turns out that Apple may be working on a device that could end up spelling the end of the iPhone as we know it in the future. This first gen device might be released as soon as 2020. Rumors suggest, is this what they've been hiding up their sleeve all this time? Well, Apple is expected to deliver a bunch of new products next year, with the iPhone expected to receive the most important product refresh since the 2017 iPhone X. Aside from a redesign and the 5G connectivity that we know it'll be getting, the iPhone 12 should receive a beefier processor and a rear-facing 3D camera that would greatly improve augmented reality or AR apps, according to Bloomberg. Apple needs better AR apps, not only for iOS devices, but also for a product that could make even better use of the technology. Get this, Apple AR glasses. The first gen model could launch as soon as next year with holographic displays placed inside the lenses. Now I know what you're saying. Wait. We've seen other people do this. Other companies have done this, and they've either failed spectacularly, or they're going to be failing, or they're kind of just faltering, just kind of like mediocre, and you're like, well, here's something different. The glasses will sync with the iPhone, displaying text, emails, maps, and even games over the user's field of vision for a mixed reality experience. They could also come with their own version of the App Store, like the Apple TV or Apple Watch, according to the report. But this is where things get interesting. Apple is reportedly hiring experts in graphics and game development to turn AR glasses into a new product category and, quote, if it all goes perfectly, an eventual successor to the iPhone. It's not far-fetched to imagine that technology breakthroughs could allow Apple to turn the glasses into an iPhone-like device that would be able to pretty much do everything that the iPhone does. The problem so far is that Apple supposedly hasn't come up with any applications that will make the glasses a must-buy. And it seems to be the problem with most of the smart glasses in existence currently. That means it'll take a while for this product to develop it into a standalone device that doesn't need to be tethered to the iPhone. But do you think Apple would actually be in a better position for this product? AR glasses? Moreover, the product's launch could be pushed back if executive decides Apple needs more time. But Bloomberg notes that other tech companies are also working on AR glasses of their own. Facebook is making Snap spectacles, like devices that can take pictures and route calls. Amazon has Alexa frames glasses in testing alongside the Echo Loop Ring to control them. And don't forget about Google, except I think maybe they retired lenses. I'm not sure. Or still in existence, who knows. Other reports have also indicated that Apple's first AR glasses may debut as soon as 2020, with developers having discovered a new AR glasses icon in an internal iOS version after some digging. So, what do you guys think? Good, bad, or otherwise? It's definitely showing promise. I mean, you can kind of see the trend and everything and where it's going. AR, mixed reality experiences, trying to figure out a way how to put it on your wrist, on the glasses, in front of your eyes, so you don't have a phone. I don't know. It's actually kind of interesting. We're in a cool space right now in terms of tech and where companies are trying to figure out where to go next and new markets that can be expanded upon and grown into and new features and things that you can do with it. I'm looking forward to it. How about you? Let me know down in the comments via YouTube or on Twitter at TechNewsGadget. And with that, that wraps up this episode of the Latest in Tech News. Thanks for tuning in. New episodes every weekday, well, at least for this week, but do let me know on Twitter or in the comments section whether you would prefer this to be a weekly show for the time being. I don't know, I probably won't make any announcements until maybe next week, or if you like the daily aspect right now. The Latest in Tech News can be found on every major platform, including Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Stitcher, Overcast, and basically anywhere else you want to listen to a podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to let us know by clicking that like button and by leaving a comment if you're watching via video. If you're listening to the podcast, leave us a review as well. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, double check that you are subscribed so that you don't miss the next episode. And if you're a long-time listener, share this episode with a friend. I'm your host, Taylor Merrick, and remember, for the latest in tech, gadget, and gaming news, visit TechNewsGadget.net. Pretty much, keep being awesome, guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.